All right. Let's see here. Just double check everything. Make sure this is all going according to plan. All right. Couple of people in the chat. GTO, I don't know when he made that comment, but it was even before we started here. Jose, good evening. Missed Advance, Snips, Cindy, Day Late, Dollar Short, Cammy. Greetings, my friends. It is I, mr.xdreams, along with my humble co-host, Nix.
Hi, everybody.
Famine52, my clever subscriber. Greetings, friend. It's been a long time. Aztec Dragon, Tickle Me, Trish, 13, Gamer of the Winds, Gamer 53, or Gammer, if that's how you like it. I love you too, Mr. or Mrs. King, whichever that is. Anthony, Sailor, and the Acolyte, the Knight Companion. Greetings, friend, and tacos indeed. I could actually use some tacos right now. I hope everybody's been well. I've been away for quite some time. I do the uploads when I can, but as you guys know, I have quite a busy life, and I make time for YouTube whenever I can. It's just not always as much as I wish I could. Mending Wall, RA, Gamer of the Winds. Did I already say Gamer of the Winds? Yes, I did. Mike Fox, greetings. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We are here to talk about a very frequently requested thing of me. And we'll chat a little bit for a few minutes. And just to catch up, there might be a few people on their way into the stream. And I don't want them to miss any of the items that I have on my list. I've been making a list and checking it a great deal more than twice. And that was a Santa Claus reference. And we'll be going over some of my pet peeves that people have always asked me for whenever they ask. I basically draw a blank for some reason. I'm not sure why. But today, that's not going to happen. So, there was something we were talking about. Nix and I were talking about briefly before we started and went live with the stream. And has to do with maybe clumsiness and injury. And don't mean to put you on the spot, Nix, but
Oh, no, go ahead.
um, do you have a story to tell regarding that your little misadventure there?
Jeez, which one?
the
um,
one that ended up with you having a slight limp, I guess.
oh, okay. Well, I've been training for the last 3 or 4 months because I plan on doing something at the beginning of this coming year. And it's not very strenuous. All all it entails is me walking with extra weight, like 20, 30 pounds of weight.
Mm.
Well, the year before this, I had actually I I don't know. I fell and I ended up like spraining my calf muscle, which is really stupid to begin with a fall. Typically, that's more of like a runner's or some kind of cross training accident. But no,
Mm.
I'm just clumsy. So, anyway, apparently I didn't rest or recoup enough. And while I was training this time with, the extra weight and everything, I tweaked it again. So now I'm, you know, going around with a ace bandage around my calf and hobbling everywhere. And it's just great. Great times.
Oh, very unfortunate accident there. We will all send our most powerful positive vibes toward your ankle and to make sure that you heal as fast as possible. I know that sucks having a limp. I've had one or two before. I
Yeah.
remember a long time ago playing football. Somebody tackled me right on my leg and made me pull my quadricep, and that was
Oh,
that was
no.
weeks. It was one of the most painful things I ever went through until probably until I got tased.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was that was even more painful, but we're not going to get into that. Not this time anyway. That was just a tease for the early birds. By the way, Roxana, excuse me, Roxana, Chaos Theory, Mike the Ukrainian, Teresa, Mending Wall, and Sydney, my good friend. Greetings, guys. Thanks for coming by. And yes, someone caught that. Mr.xdreams has been tased. So just keep that in mind and put that in your baskets when you're considering your theories as to what I've been through in my life, because it's quite a long story. So, anyway, I think Axeman is here. Greetings, friend. I think the watch count has leveled out pretty well. Tell me, are you guys hearing different levels of my microphone coming in and out? Because I'm starting to sounds like my microphone's acting a little weird.
Actually, it did start.
Okay,
It,
let's
it
see.
wasn't too bad. Like, it wasn't too loud and it wasn't too low, but there was a difference.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the situation is with that. Everybody's saying my voice sounds different. I don't use any voice distortion software or anything like that. Yeah, I did get louder. Okay, that's weird. And it sounds very deep. All right, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can restart my microphone or something. It's been giving me a little trouble lately.
So, everybody, how have you been?
All right, how's that sound? You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Anybody hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hey, Nix, I don't hear what you're saying. If
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've muted yourself. I wonder if we've lost her. Nix, are you there? Is anybody hearing Nix? This is really bizarre. Okay. Nix, I'm going to eject you, and then I'll send you another. I'll send you another invite. See if you can rejoin me. Technical difficulties, my friends. Please bear with me a moment. All right. I've sent her another invitation. As soon as she gets back, we'll get into the main portion of this event that I have planned for you guys. It's nothing too grave. As I said, if anybody's just recently tuned in, I'm going to be talking about my pet peeves, the things that get on my nerves when I see or think about them. It's kind of funny because every time someone asks me about that during a live stream or even in comments occasionally, it's kind of frustrating how I just draw a blank. Not quite sure why. All right, I think we've got it back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Perfectly, crystal clear.
Awesome.
Okay. Valerie, greetings, friend. I haven't greeted you. Master Panda, hello. That's an awesome name. You need to come up with an equally awesome profile picture for that, befitting of the title Master Panda. All right. So, I have a list of about, I don't know, maybe 10 things that are things that really bother me in everyday life, and I'll explain those to you guys and get your opinions on maybe if anybody feels me on those things, if you feel equally annoyed by the things that happen to annoy me. And then also I have a couple of small stories that they're kind of actually funny stories that happened to me when I was younger that I'll share with you guys after all that's done. Wolfsbane, greetings. Okay, so pet peeves. And when I'm describing these, I want you guys in the chat to let me know if this is something that you don't mind, or if it's something that you don't like, or if it really drives you nuts. And we'll go along that way. All right, number one. I'm not a rich man. I don't carry around a lot of bills in my pocket. But whatever bills I do have in my pocket, I like them to be aligned as perfectly as possible. I want everything to be, upright and in order, numerical order, with the larger bills on the outside, smaller ones on the inside, and then I fold them up and put them in my wallet. So if somebody gives me money, say I'm at a grocery store or something like that, and I realize this is like the most mundane way to start off a list like this, but it's one of the first things that popped into my head as I was going throughout the last few weeks, thinking about those pet peeves. So if somebody gives me money from a cash register, if I'm at a grocery store or something like that, and it's all mixed up and folded up in different ways, I'm not going to say OCD because everybody says that. But I do have to take a second. I'll stand off to the side, get out of everybody's way, and make sure that all those bills are in order as much as possible before I put my stuff back in my pocket and move on. Only if I'm in an extreme hurry will I just put those bills all jacked up in my wallet. Now, does anybody else feel that way? I know I'm a strange guy, but these things will get a little bit more relatable as they go on, but I'm pretty sure there's got to be a few people like that.
Well, in the chat, there's a couple of people, but I can tell you right now, I do almost the exact same thing. So.
Okay, good. Axeman saying the normal ridiculous. Are you choking a kitten?
Give me just a minute.
All right. Yes, Wolfsbane. I definitely want all the bills to face the same way. I want them to be in the same orientation and in numerical order from largest to smallest.
See, I do mine the reverse. I go smallest to largest, but I have a clutch wallet, so when I open it up, all my small bills are right there on top, and then nobody can see the larger bills. So
Yeah, so it's a little less attractive of a target. That's
yeah.
smart. Yeah, people. I mean, I've never noticed anyone looking at me as a potential, you know, target for strong-armed mugging or robbery. I guess I'm not the
Well, you're a pretty
smallest
big
person.
dude, you know. I mean,
It's one of the benefits of being the size that I am. It's not all great, you know. Driving in small cars is terrible. Walking under walking through some thresholds of doors can be a hassle sometimes. Yeah, I know. I know. Sydney knows what I mean because she's even though she's a female, she's extremely tall as well, almost as tall as I am, I think.
oh
And you
wow.
know, it's she's like an Amazon. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's number one. I'm glad I'm among kindred spirits here when it comes to bills being arranged properly. So okay, I'm going to save this one for a little bit later. All right, and I apologize if I kind of come out of character a little bit. Hello, Roseanne. Greetings. This is going to get things are going to get kind of real tonight. If you guys are not prepared for that, then stick around anyway, and maybe you'll hate me by the end of this night. But I doubt it. So let's see. Traffic caterpillars is what I call these things. It's a phenomenon that I see on living in South Florida. There's a interstate road, a highway called I-95. And every day there's probably about 10 accidents along that highway. It's a long highway. It goes all the way from the top of Florida all the way down to the bottom where it ends and turns into the Key West, or the Keys rather. And there's this phenomenon that I've noticed mainly on, well, it's actually pretty much any highway that I've ever driven on. This can happen because I think it's a human condition. I call it traffic caterpillars because there are times where, you know, traffic bottlenecks or it slows down. And then you eventually, as you go down the road, you start to see the police lights. You start to see the fact that there was an accident in the road and there's taking time for them to move the affected vehicles out of the way and all that type of stuff. So there's legitimate reasons for there to be a slowdown in traffic. But one thing that actually annoys me to quite a large extent, not to the point where I'm fuming or anything. I'm not a person who has road rage or anything like that. But when traffic slows down to a bottleneck type of situation, and especially if I'm going somewhere with a purpose and I'm having to slow down or stop even because traffic slows down to a halt and then it speeds up again and it slows down and speeds up again. And then eventually, by the time I get to the front of that, everything starts kind of flowing freely the way it should have been the whole time. And it just so happens that, say, there was an accident or there was something that was happening on the side of the road, somebody getting pulled over, or there was 3 police cars on the side of the road and an upside down truck that crashed over there. Nothing that actually is physically blocking the highway itself, but it's just people's desire to slow down and look at that. Look at what's going on, look at the commotion, and stare at it for a few seconds before speeding back up again. And they don't realize that they're creating a huge rippling effect of cars having to slow down for, you know, the half a mile or mile behind them. Does anyone know what I mean? Maybe I rambled a little bit in that explanation, but I did the best I could because it's actually something that gets on my nerves a lot.
Okay, give me just a minute. A little snips, sweetie. Go ahead and refresh. Everybody's yelling at you in chat, and I know you can't see it.
Oh boy, what's going on?
She can't see chat. She just needs to refresh, and everybody's yelling at her, and she can't see it.
We see you, Nick, Snips. We definitely see you. She tweeted on Twitter. I didn't see that yet.
She said refresh 10 times. I don't know. Is your computer trying to like run like updates and stuff? Because sometimes it happens to me, and then I just have to, you know, shut it down, let it do its thing. Rubberneckers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did Roxana really get bitten by a spider?
I think
That's
so.
what I want to know. Okay, Mike Fox said, would anyone else like to see Mr. X and Morgan Freeman narrate a story? I, my friend, am not worthy to absorb the direct sound waves from Morgan Freeman's voice. He is an absolute legend, a veritable King Midas of the world of sound. And I'm not worthy of that. But thank you so much for even putting my name in the same sentence as Morgan Freeman. He's like, you know, that's the level of James Earl Jones and very, very few others. Let's see here. Okay. So traffic caterpillars, rubberneckers, as Famine 52 so accurately put it. It's another one of my pet peeves. Okay. Chipped nail polish. I don't like nail polish in general. I don't like it at all. I wish that it was never invented.
Oh, now come on. Some of the colors are really nice.
Wait, what? What's going on? Hello, Tammy. My friend Tammy. Hey guys, let me take a second. Tammy is a longtime fellow dreamer, and I recently started a GoFundMe for her. She's going through some pretty hard times right now. I know she probably wouldn't want me putting this out there right now, but if anyone would like to go over there and throw a couple of dollars in that pot, or at least share that GoFundMe page, I'll put a link in the description over here for you guys if you want to do that. You know, it's not necessary, you know, but if you can help out, that would be nice. Matter of fact, let me go hunt that down real quick. I put it out on Twitter and everything, but you know, I don't have the most followers on there, so it's really kind of a lost cause. I'm just trying to do what I can. So anyway, chipped nail polish, and I don't want anybody to think that I would think any less of them if you look down at your fingertips right now, and it so happens that your nail polish is extremely chipped and in dire need of repair or removal or replacement. I'm not going to judge you, but anyone who's in the chat right now, and I'm going to check it in a second because I think something. Link Tammy's GoFundMe link in the description of this video real quick. But anybody who is currently suffering from the condition of badly chipped nail polish, I want you to identify yourselves to me right now. Okay, I just had to reload the chat and it's going nuts. All right, you guys can be honest. Hey, Tony Two Metal, greetings, friend. And Garami, never seen you before, but greetings. Roxana, your nail polish is chipped. I guess the gel. I dislike all nail polish in general, but gel is a little bit better, I guess, because it's a lot harder to damage in that way. There's just something about looking at fingernails and seeing tiny flecks of or a small island of cracked, fractured nail polish. It just bothers me. I don't know why. It just really makes me wonder why a person would allow that to happen. Thank you, Snips. Finally, someone who is a fellow disliker of nail polish. And this, I know this isn't the biggest. This isn't the biggest one, but I had to say it because every time somebody asks me what my pet peeves are, the things that get on my nerves, I'm never able to say anything about it. Nothing ever comes to my mind when I'm put on the spot there. So over the past few weeks, I've just been writing it down anytime something comes to my mind. Ash 93, greetings, friends, and Shadow of Anarchy, greetings. You're not too late. We're just about halfway through. I'm not going to be on too long because I had some unexpected visitors come over tonight. Greetings, Morgan B. Yeah, okay.
You got a couple people here
you
who
very
don't
much.
like nail polish.
Yeah, there's a couple people, and I especially like when I don't know, something about a woman who doesn't like nail polish the way I dislike it, and that's like a special connection that I'm able to have with that woman that I just can't have for someone who loves nail polish. It's very important. Oh, one of your toes, Sydney. I'm sorry, not Cindy. That's Sydney. Cindy. Sorry. Cindy has a chipped nail polish situation, category 5, on one of her toes. That needs to be taken care of. All right. So far, we've got bills being in the wrong order, chipped nail polish, and traffic caterpillars perpetrated by rubberneckers. All right, what's next? I'm not ragging on women. I love women, but this next one is related to women. It's the fact that women's clothing rarely has pockets.
Oh, dude, that ain't just your pet peeve.
Yeah, explain that to me. I mean, Nix, I'm assuming you're wearing clothing right now.
I'm
And
actually wearing a pair of shorts that don't have pockets.
no pockets on
No
shorts
pockets. Yeah.
that you're wearing
It's
casually,
ridiculous.
just hanging out.
Yeah. Dude, I can't
See,
answer that. I don't know why.
that to me is a conspiracy of the highest order. I wonder whose idea it is to create all this female clothing
Well,
that has no pockets.
think about it.
Why?
If we had pockets, we more than likely wouldn't carry around those big designer purses.
That's the key right there. That's the core of my theory about that, is that without that you wouldn't need someplace else to carry things.
And I think I heard something about jeans like a long time ago in like a documentary or something on fashion, that the pockets, that you have to space them a certain way or your butt looks like really weird. So at some point they just stopped putting like pockets on stuff. so that you look slimmer.
Interesting.
But I don't
Wolves
know if that's
cries.
fact.
Yeah, that I'm sure there is some plausibility to that. Um, Wolves cry. Hello there, my friend. And Miss M, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Enzo, greetings. So, yeah, that's it. It really bothers me sometimes. I mean, I'm not wearing pants right now, but even my underwear has a pocket in it. Technically, there's a space that I could use as a pocket. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes, greetings, friend.
I'll tell you this though. I have, like, in recent years, started buying more men's, like, jeans and shorts, just so I have pockets.
Yeah,
So
it makes sense. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You have to protect your interests. There's no.
But
Yeah.
there's a problem with it though, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but the inseam for men's shorts and jeans and stuff hang a bit low.
Yeah, yeah.
Lower than a female's,
taper.
pair of jeans or whatever. And, sometimes that can be a problem. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, and then when you try to wear it with a belt, it gets all scrunched up at the top. I'm familiar. I know what you mean. So, yeah, I don't like that. Bothers me. And I find myself being asked countless times by women to hold something that really could easily fit in a small pocket, but they don't want to have their purse, or they just don't want the responsibility of holding, a small thing that could easily fit in a pocket. If they had pockets, it'd be no problem. Slide it in there and you're done. But because of that, you just can't. No,
I know.
It's on me. I have to be responsible for whatever.
For somebody else's crap.
Exactly. It's so annoying.
Oh my
Maritza,
goodness.
New York, greetings, friend. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, I actually have a pet peeve that kind of runs parallel to that. And I think it's because of the no pocket thing. I hate how women, and I'm sorry, but this is a woman thing, they start sticking their, like, phones and stuff in their bras. I can't stand that. It's like,
that's terrible.
I don't know why it bothers me, but I'm just like, that does not go there.
Yeah, well, to me, there's several things with that. I mean, it's a condensation from your body heat collecting on the screen of your phone, making it very slippery and, not to mention covering it with dead, wet skin cells. And then, even more than that, even more importantly, who knows what the effect of radiation from the signals coming in and out of your phone constantly can have on breast tissue.
Oh my God.
I would hate to hear, 20 years from now that people who've been doing that this whole time would be developing issues with that. Yeah. 97 Scarlet Witch. Greetings, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, that would be terrible. I would really feel bad about that. And that's an excellent one. I'm glad you brought that up because that bothers me too. Anytime
I can help.
Yeah, no, we can't just be all on me. You're the co-host, and we also have a bunch of 36 or so very opinionated dreamers in here. That if you guys have a pet peeve that we want to talk about, keep it in mind. And at the end, once I've gone through all these that I've got, there's only a couple left. Then I'll open up the floor and we'll talk about each one of yours. And yes, Looney Tunes is absolutely correct. Phones are one of the dirtiest things that we have on ourselves on a regular basis. I clean my phone with alcohol every single night before I go to bed.
Do you really?
Yeah. I have this thing where the last thing I do before I actually get in my bed and go to bed at night is shower and clean myself. And once that's happened, I try to avoid coming into contact with anything that's going to make my bed dirty, because that's like the one place, and all the experiences that I've had, all the places that I've had to go and things I've had to do, I'm comfortable. I'm okay with being dirty. I mean, I've been dirty for days at a time, especially in the military, where you go a week or 2 weeks without being able to take a proper shower. You know, I've gone through things like that, so it's not that I have some kind of weird um, thing with some OCD thing with cleanliness or anything. But once I get in my bed, if I'm at home in the States, in the home that I bought, I want to be clean when I'm going to bed. That's just me. I don't know about anybody else. But but yeah, I clean my phone with alcohol, alcohol pad, or like a piece of paper towel with some alcohol. Just wipe it down real quick. Otherwise, if I touch my phone, like to pick it up and check it or something like that, I will get up out of my bed and go wash my hands before I go back to bed.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just, yeah, I don't. The phones are very dirty. You're touching all kinds of stuff throughout the day, and then you touch your phone. Just it's automatic.
Well, let me
And
ask you this. If you didn't need it for, like, say, job or whatnot, if you actually could get rid of your phone, would you do it?
um, would I get rid of my phone?
Yeah, like,
No,
not use it.
no.
Oh, wow.
I do stuff on my phone constantly. It's not, you know, I do love my phone.
Mm.
It's old, but I do love it. I can do all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't get rid of my phone. No way. Unless I was going to legitimately move out into the woods and live with all the people that I needed to have access to within, you know, shouting distance.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I would do that.
Oh, wow.
I got a little paragraph here from Scarlet Witch. One second. I'm just going to say
Oh, read
something about
that. That
this
was awesome.
their boobs so much of an inconvenience the rest of the time. They might as well do something useful for me, like be an extra pocket. I understand that, but I just hope that that slight convenience of being an extra pocket is not making you sick in a way that you wouldn't have been sick otherwise. You know, I would. That's the whole thing about. That's the main thing with me. I mean, I don't mind touching. You know, if somebody touches a phone that touched their boob and then they touch my hand, I'm not a stickler like that. You know, unless you do that to me after I'm trying to go to bed, which I don't know why you would be standing in my bedroom anyway. But well, yeah, forget that. Yeah, it's fine. But what I do not stand for, though, is women who keep money, like cash, in their bra. I would, because it just absorbs the sweat and everything. That's just bizarre to me. But I don't want this to be, well, if we just talk about things that we don't like that women do throughout the majority of this stream, I feel like I might get some negative attention, and that's not what I want. I love women and I support anything a woman wants to do that's not going to hurt herself or other people.
Well, I got some guy stuff I don't like.
Oh, let's do it. Let's get into that then.
Okay,
I'll
first of
tell you if
all,
it's something that I do.
well, I'm sure you do because I understand the reason for it, but I hate it when guys just in public reach down and adjust their balls. I mean, you can find a
Hmm.
private place or a corner, turn around. You don't have to make it so obvious that you got your hand down your pants or
Hmm.
whatever. I hate
Well,
that.
if somebody's got their hands straight up in their pants or they're obviously adjusting their testicles, that person is what we call a noob. There are all kinds of creative ways to adjust one's balls in public. I mean,
Well, I've seen the little
it,
sidestep jiggle thing,
yeah, it's
but
rarely imperceptible, but you know, it's doable. And you just got to
But
do it at the right time. You got to wait for, you have to have perfect situational awareness and be aware of everyone, what everyone is doing in your environment, and get that perfect right time to get it.
yeah.
Because and sometimes you even have to do it in stages where you're like, okay, I got a problem in both balls. I make this little shimmy here, and that'll take care of the left one. That one comes down smoothly. And you might wait a couple minutes, and then be turn this way and pretend like you're turning around like you're going to greet someone, and then you add a
Oh,
little hip thrust over to one side, and it's funny, I just realized I'm actually doing these movements as I'm talking.
as you're explaining it, really.
Yeah, that's how dedicated I am to this live stream right now. Is I'm shifting my hips around to simulate the ball adjustment, hands free, by the way.
Well, see, that I can handle. It's like, okay, I know there's a problem. You have a problem. Fix your problem. But
Yeah,
don't just grab and like mine for gold down there. It's
yeah,
just,
we're not cavemen. You shouldn't be
oh,
doing
it's
that.
horrible.
That's a good one.
It is.
Phantom52 asking how much of my phone cleaning is linked to my job. Um, a lot of it. I do come in contact with some pretty unclean individuals on a pretty regular basis, and when I come home, I don't want to have that on my phone and be transferring that to the different surfaces throughout my house. So you guys should probably already be able to figure out what I do for a living, but it's just not quite cool for me to say it straight up. Anyway, going 2 weeks. Miss M is going 2 weeks without using her phone, and it was bliss. And you don't own a television. Hmm. If I went 2 weeks without using my phone, I would be in trouble from probably 5 different business establishments, several members of my family, and other associates. I probably couldn't do that. And Sydney also cleans her phone every day. That's a good practice. It's very good. Okay.
See, I never really thought about cleaning my phone every day, but I don't actually touch my phone every day.
Really? So there's days where
Yeah.
your phone just sits on a countertop and
Yeah.
that's it.
Like, absolutely.
Hmm. Well
Hmm.
then, what does that day look like to you? Like what
Peaceful.
happens?
Nothing. It's just I don't have a lot of people that I keep in contact with on a daily basis. So there are
Hmm.
times that there'll be days that, I'm not hearing constantly, "What are you doing?" or just mindless chatter in the background.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's nice.
Okay. Well, Roxana has had a hairbrush, lipstick, phone, mirror, and a candy bar in her boobs all at one time. Now, there's a point where it goes from being a pet peeve to just being impressive. And I think she crossed that threshold right there. Sydney mentioned dogs and horses. You're going to have to clarify that, my dear. I don't know what you mean by it. Scarlet Witch said, my 3-year-old used to put her binky in them, and my older daughter once reached over and stuck her sippy cup in them at Walmart. That must have been a very dignifying experience, or maybe the opposite of that. Kids, they do have that tendency to completely disregard the feelings of the person, that the adult that they're dealing with. But gotta love them. Let's see. Gorami wants a candy bar now. Queen J, greetings, my friend. 3 hearts to you as well, whatever that means. All right. Okay. All right. We got that. We got that. Okay. Here's the last one that I that I have on my little list here. It just came to me the other day when someone mentioned it to me, and I had to end up giving them a small lecture about why it annoys me when people use this phrase. Excuse me. Mr. Desi Gamer, greetings, friend. Good to make your acquaintance. I don't remember you being around here before, but I'm glad to have you. Eggplants. All right, roger that. Okay, so sometimes parents will say that their child, typically an angsty teenager, is finding themselves when really the kid is just being a dick. And that really gets on my nerves. Sometimes it's okay to tell your kids, like, hey, you guys need to be polite to people when they come over here, or you need to stop acting like, like a dick to everyone, because I'm done telling them that, oh, he's just finding himself. And that being like an acceptable excuse, like, okay, the kid slammed the door in my face, but he's finding himself. So I'm just going to, pretend like that never happened.
That's an excuse? Like,
yeah,
you've actually heard people say that?
Well, not that particular example.
Oh, I was like, what the hell?
There's things, it's just a general.
Like, it's a phase, or he's moody, or whatever.
Right. Oh yeah. There's certain things that you just, it can't be just excused by saying, by a simple catchphrase. Yeah. They're finding themselves. Why does finding yourself mean that you're just basically a generally moody dick to everyone? Yes. You're being asked to every single person in your environment. Yes. A small child, someone said a small child maybe, but not a teen.
Yeah, definitely not.
And see, small children are rarely put in that category of finding themselves. By the way, Tariko Tomoso, greetings, and also Big Bad Guy. Good to have you here. If there's anybody who's shown up in the chat that I haven't noticed and greeted, I want to say greetings to you as well, my friend. I don't get to see every single comment, but that's what Nix and I both try to do, get to all of the comments that might be pertinent to what we're saying, what we're talking about. But thanks again for everybody who's here right now. So anyway, I want to, we could probably talk about angsty teenagers all night, but in the interest of keeping things fresh and alive and moving, organic, extra expensive at Whole Foods, I want you guys to tell me what bothers you, what pet peeves do you have, and why. And we'll see if Nix and I agree or could care less. Most of the urban words in every context annoy me. Explain that, please, Mike Fox. Family 52, let's see what you have to say. My clever subscriber. I know that when I worked at a Jiffy Lube, I cleaned my phone daily. Then I would clean it twice a day when I was working in the refineries. You worked in a refinery. We'll have to have a chat offline about that one day. Hate when a person can't chew with their mouth closed. To have to hear everything you eat. That's a good one, Mending Wall, especially in public. Because chewing sounds can actually be some of the most disgusting sounds in human existence, really. It's really the imagery, the mental imagery that comes to mind that is conjured up in the depths of your subconscious. is basically revolting, although it is something that happens in all of our mouths pretty much every day. And feels weird to say that, but it's true. It's just nasty, and I don't think anybody really wants to hear that unless you have some weird fetish for chewing.
Let's not go there.
I would ask if that's a thing, but
It probably is.
the internet exists, so it must be a thing.
Miss M says bad manners and arrogance annoy her, which I'm totally with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I cannot stand somebody who's just so arrogant that, I mean, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes I've been described as being arrogant in my past. I've done a lot to kind of counteract that. But the way in which I was kind of arrogant was I always thought I was right. It's like, okay, if I have an opinion, it would take a whole lot for somebody to convince me that I was wrong. And that was
Really?
that was unfortunate. And it took me quite a while to open my mind a little bit and be a little bit more willing to, more readily accept if somebody really lays it out and gives their argument and gives a solid argument. Nowadays, I have no problem conceding defeat or that I'm wrong in any particular situation if the person gives me a logical, basically mandate that I can't argue against, because I'm known for my ability to debate and argue for weeks at a time if necessary, if it's something that I really feel passionately about. And I've grown a lot in that area, so I can understand if somebody has problems with being arrogant in some ways. But I mean, as far as thinking that you yourself as a person are better than other people, that wasn't my issue. It was more correctitude, you know. And I can admit that now. It feels good to admit that in front of 36 people. Who's modding for me? I'm not sure I know what you mean, Looney Tunes. Are you meaning who is Nyx? Because I guess she's helping to moderate the chat and everything with me.
You got a donation.
Oh, you mean we got a donation? Mending Wall, my dear friend. She brought a T-shirt as well a while back. Sent me a picture, and thank you so much for your donation. I very much appreciate it, my friend. And by the way, I know a couple of people who are in the chat right now did purchase T-shirts during the times where it was available last month, and that opened up a couple of interesting doors for me, and I appreciate that. I want to say thank you to you guys, especially those if you're in the chat right now, or if you're watching and you purchase a T-shirt and you haven't sent me a picture of yourself wearing it, then please do as soon as possible, because I'm going to be making a special video dedicated to you guys.
Let's see. Chaos Theory. I am helping with like questions and stuff, just watching the chat, but I don't actually have control over the chat. So if anybody needs corrected, that goes straight to X.
All right. Is there someone I just
saw
someone?
Yeah. It's the Desi gamer. He's needing attention. He's probably a child.
Yeah, that's fine. Let the little children play. That's all right. He seems, or whoever they are, seem relatively harmless, and I hope they don't take that as a challenge. All right, let's see here. Roxana says it bothers her when someone says they're OCD about something or they're bipolar because of mood swings. Those terms are extremely, extremely overused
Yes,
to the
they
point
are.
of not being nauseating to hear. And it sucks because there are people who actually suffer from that. And when people throw the term around, it cheapens and diminishes the impact of people who really live every day with crippling OCD or bipolar disorder that drives away their actual friends and family and really has a negative impact on them. So we got to try to be careful about that. Sydney, that's a good question. Is anyone wearing their mr.xdreams shirt right now? If you are, that's freaking awesome. Okay, let's see here. I know I saw some other pet peeves in the chat. Let's see if we could find some.
There was one about people just barging in on a closed door without knocking,
Hmm.
which,
That
yeah,
that's pretty rude.
that's just part of the whole somebody who doesn't have manners thing. I mean,
Yeah.
someone who's not been taught to respect someone else's privacy.
Yeah, and that maybe they just feel like their perspective and their point of view is the only one that's relevant. So there's no way the person on the inside of that door would be requiring their own privacy, which is absurd to you and I, but some people really think that way. Or maybe something happened and as an infant they never learned the concept of object permanence, and they really think that when you close the door that you vanish from existence and that you no longer exist.
That would
That
be horrible. That
yeah,
would actually be horrible to still believe that.
that's you're right. I As I was saying that, and then you said that, I was thinking like,
I mean, can you imagine like the
I wonder if
panic
there's
and the
anyone who has
terror?
that. Is there anyone? I wonder if there's anyone who just never developed object permanence in their mind. Like otherwise, they're totally normal, but they live their life into adulthood without the concept of object permanence.
I don't know, because I think that would be
Hmm.
pretty debilitating. Holy crap,
Holy
you
moly!
did you see that? You got
I
another donation?
Yes. Um,
That's awesome.
752. Wow. Like a true OG. No words. That's crazy. Thank you so much, my friend. $50. That's amazing. And
Yeah, it is.
I appreciate that so much. You're a very long time listener and has been very vocal and is one of the few people who, well, actually was the first person to correctly deduce what I do as a profession. That's why I call Famine 52 my clever subscriber. You might have heard me say that before. So that's awesome. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. So Snips has also said that she's wearing my shirt.
Yeah, you had quite a few.
I didn't see anyone else yet. Let's see.
Oh, Cindy S. Hates it when someone just pulls up to the yard and blows the horn instead of actually coming to the door to knock.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Especially if it's a
hmm,
date. I've had that happen.
really.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, dude, get out of the car.
Is it 1992 or something? Do they not have a cell phone to text you and tell you they're outside?
I don't know what it was. It was,
That's
yeah,
bizarre.
it didn't go anywhere, so it doesn't matter.
Well, hey, you guys tell me if okay, Mending Wall is wearing her shirt as well. Awesome. I'm gonna I don't know, you guys it's hard for me to explain that design that's on the shirt that I made. I created that design many years ago when I was probably about, I don't know, 16 or 17 years old. I created that design on an old copy of Photoshop that I had. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I didn't do anything with it until 2 years ago when I started this channel on YouTube. And to think about the fact that there are people, you know, a pretty sizable handful of people in my mind that are wearing a shirt right now or have one somewhere in their house, in their closet or whatever. Or maybe they use it to dry their car. I don't know. But
Hey, as long as they
that
bought it.
image, yeah, if you bought it, you could light it on fire. I'm not going to be offended. It might hurt my heart a little bit if you just
Aw.
destroyed it. But that design that I created all those years ago, that people are actually wearing it on themselves, that's crazy to me. That's such a humbling and heartwarming thought. And I love you guys for that. That's amazing. Marcy the Queen, Legna, greetings, my friends. Don't recall seeing you guys before. Marcy the Queen, I'd love to know what story you're referring to that you said you enjoyed. Let's see here. What else do we have? And you guys, let me know if whatchamacallit is still trolling. Top three, is that someone here? Top three? Well, if you're a human being, then greetings. Okay, what do you have here? Another one from me, from Terrico Tomoso. Another one for me is when people drive 10 or more miles under the speed limit for no apparent reason. You know what I've noticed? And that's a good point because this is another huge pet peeve for me. And every so often I have the ability to do something about it when I see this. So whenever you see somebody driving really slowly, suspiciously slowly on any road, especially on the highway, if you pull up next to them, which I recommend kind of getting away from that person as quickly as you can, you know, pulling up around them and just getting past them because that person's probably not very safe. Good night, Maritza, if you're still there. Thanks for stopping by. And whenever you see that, the odds are that they're on their phone, probably texting, and that is like an extreme pain in my neck to see somebody looking up and looking down. Or sometimes I'll look at someone and look back and forth at them driving right next to them, and they don't take their eyes off their phone for several seconds at a time. And consider this a PSA. I mean, what can happen in 2 seconds on the highway could end up with you being dead. So just consider that next time if you really, I know it can be very tempting to, you know, use your phone persistently while you're driving, but it's extremely dangerous. It's probably worse than driving drunk. So make sure that you don't end up as a statistic on that. And what I was saying before, sometimes I have a special button in my car that I drive that makes a very loud noise, and sometimes I pull up next to one of those people and press this button and trigger this very loud and jarring noise, and it scares the crap out of them. And usually
Good.
that makes them realize that they shouldn't be on their phone. Marcy the Queen, you enjoyed the story, The Dreamer. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm always happy to see when somebody likes that story because it's very near and dear to my heart. I've been thinking about it since several years ago, and I finally was able to make the first book of that. And, there will be more to that story. Believe me, just takes a while right now. It does happen a lot. It's against the law. Yeah, I think it's against the law in a lot of cities to be texting while you're driving.
Yeah.
So more and more billboards, especially down here in Florida. all these billboards that are saying, hey, it can wait, and all these different slogans regarding that.
Honestly, I wonder how much they do help because I've noticed quite a few law enforcement in my area that do it. Like,
Mm.
literally see them on their phone driving down the road. And I'm like,
Mm.
dude, I know you got like some sort of hands-free device in there. I know you have all sorts of tech in there. You don't need to have that phone to your ear. But
Wow.
yeah.
Well, well, that, I mean, yeah, that's definitely not preferable. I always drive around with a Bluetooth headset, and yeah, it looks kind of dorky, but it's better than having to fumble around with my phone whenever I get a call or want to make a call. It's
Yeah.
very convenient. I like it. Plus, it kind of makes me feel like in Star Trek or something like that. And I know you like that, Nix.
Tammy, what are you talking about? uh,
I don't think Tammy enjoys people blowing their noses in public. That's that much is clear. And
I mean,
I would,
sometimes I can understand if you're at like the dinner table or whatnot, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Looney
I
Tunes. Have a
I would
good
rather
night, my
somebody
friend.
blow their
Or something.
nose than to walk around with a booger hanging out.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. Boogers. I don't even like the word booger. It makes me feel stupid every time I say it. I don't know why.
Snot. Like, just the visual of the word snot just makes me
Mhm.
sick.
Yep. Yeah. Snot. It's snot is. I mean, it's more descriptive and it's more
Ew.
visceral
It's just
than
ew.
booger. But something about booger, it makes me think of. I mean, when I think of snot, I just think of it's more of an adult word.
Yeah.
And I think of just being sick and having snot all over in your sinuses and all that. But when I hear booger, I think of a little kid with his face plastered in just boogers.
Oh no.
And you know how kids like they wipe the boogers with their hands and they don't care.
Yeah,
They
they like to
just
slime everything.
yeah, they have no regard for that, and it's nasty. But you know we were all there once. James Taylor, greetings, friend. Better late than never, indeed. Unfortunately, I've only got a few more minutes to play with. Maybe I think around 11:25 or 11:30, I'm going to be calling it a night. But we got a couple more minutes in here. Let's see if I missed anything.
Tammy also said that she had the pet peeve of when people let their dogs like poo in her yard, and I can
Yeah,
totally relate to that. I have a huge yard, and it kills me every time I see somebody walking their dog in my yard and just let it do its business and then just walk away. I'm like, dude, I
yeah,
gotta mow that. I gotta walk over that.
yep, yep. I've seen that. I've seen that too. Jen L, greetings, and whoever the skull-faced individual is that has a completely unpronounceable name in English. I don't know what that would be, but what's
Hmm.
up? Yeah, Skatadov, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, about people letting their dogs poop in your yard. I actually have security cameras set up around my house. So I've there's this one lady that lives in my neighborhood. I don't know if she still lives here because I haven't seen her in a long time, but she had this huge like Great Dane.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and she'd walk by every so often, early in the morning, and I just started seeing these huge turds right next to my mailbox, like gigantic. And I think she had a Great Dane. It was a big, tall dog,
Yeah.
and I'm just wondering, like, number one, that's where I go every day to check my mail. Like, why do it there? But I checked my, my video camera, and sure enough, multiple occasions I've seen this lady just walk up. It's a young lady too, probably 25 years old.
Are you
Walk,
serious?
yeah, walk up.
Oh my God, I was thinking it was like an older person that just couldn't handle their dog, and the
Oh
dog was
no,
just doing it wherever.
this young lady is fit. She's dressed in like workout clothes, and she could
Yeah.
easily, you know, pick that up while doing a squat at the same time, and just pull double duty. No pun intended. And she could easily take care of that, and she just, I don't know, maybe, you know what it is, she has no pockets and
No,
nowhere to put the poop
well,
if
you wouldn't
she
want to put that in your pocket anyway.
well, I bet not. Yeah, it's terrible. Mending
No, that just
walls
goes
in a
back to the whole
rubbernecking is
manners
terrible.
thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Jeez.
manners is a very far-reaching term. It's really about how human beings interact with each other on pretty much every social level. Manners is there, right there, front and center, ground zero. And a lot of people don't have them. Similarly to the ironically named common sense. It's another thing that people don't really seem to have. Kefkin, greetings and welcome.
Pocket turd.
Pocket turd. That is, you better trademark that ASAP, for real. Parenting is a lost art. Wise words from Tammy. That is absolutely true.
It really is. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I guess I'm gonna let something slip, but I need to say it anyway. Most people probably don't know because nobody's ever asked, but I actually have a kid. And
Hmm.
as he was growing up, just his contemporaries, just the children that he was playing with, the children of his own age group, I could
Hmm.
not understand how some of them were so rowdy, disrespectful. I mean, it seemed like here I am, I'm a young mother. I should be the one screwing up my kid, and I see all these 30 something whatevers that has like a 4 to 8-year-old, and I'm like, discipline your child. Teach them what to do. Teach them what is right and wrong. You don't even have to hit a kid to teach it what to do. In fact, that's not going to teach them anything except to hit somebody else. But you
Hmm.
can set a 4-year-old down and say, you wouldn't want this to happen to you. Don't do this, or this is how you do it right. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I never understood that. So, whatever.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah, it's sad because there's those kids are going to grow up and they're going to have no idea they're going to have to start from scratch
Yeah.
with their kids. They're going to have no idea what the hell to do. And that's even more unfortunate. It's a generational problem. Hey, you know what? I just had an idea.
Hmm.
Shin Fitz, greetings, my old friend. I went to high school with that guy. Let's see here. I just had an idea. Since I've been talking about that GoFundMe page for Tammy, and we've gotten $60 in donations, I hope that
Dude,
my donators don't mind if we just throw that over to the GoFundMe page.
that's
I
a
think
great
that's
idea.
fair. Yeah, it's. Do you agree with that, Nix?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. So we'll do that. So you can look forward to that, Tammy. And don't everybody come asking me to set up a GoFundMe for them because this is a special case. I'm looking through the chat here.
Ooh, pet peeves when it comes to entertainment. Like pet peeves in movies and stuff. I have a few,
Oh
but they're
well,
probably more like female related.
I have one, and let's start with yours.
Oh, well, okay. Just the whole simple thing of how most movies that we watch nowadays, there's not a strong female role. There's not even a strong female character written in the movie at all. And
Hmm.
it just seems like a no-brainer for you to just gender switch a lot of these scripts. It calls for a guy. Oh well, write she.
Yeah.
Cast a woman. So, it's just stuff like that. That's why I really appreciated Wonder Woman. I mean, I know that's kind of been, you know, kicked around a
Wonder Woman
lot, but
was that was
that was
badass.
awesome. Dude, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah,
And I just
I really enjoyed that as well. And we're not going to get into the
yeah,
substance of it
yeah.
in case anybody hasn't seen it, but seeing it's a strong female character who has like such reasonable and understandable motivations and has such a kind
A
of a
depth of character. Like
yeah,
seriously.
and she's so different from the other characters in that universe as far as her wanting to be a hero. She's the first one in that universe that really wants to be a fighter and a hero and somebody who goes out of her way and puts herself on the line. That's her dream, and she's taking an opportunity to realize that dream finally. And it's interesting to see, and that being a female character makes it even more charming to me somehow.
Yeah.
I don't
There
know.
was actually
You don't see it a lot.
no, you don't. In fact, I mean, there was a lot of times in that movie that I just started crying because I was so emotional. And it didn't really have anything to do with what was on screen. It was just the simple fact that it was happening, you know? Um, I mean, I don't know. Guys probably realize that there is a problem because there is a shortage of just female leads, not necessarily a role model, but just a lead.
Hmm.
But I grew up not having a female to look up to. I grew up looking at a male and thinking, okay, well, I can strive to be that. But in the back of my mind, it's always, but I'm not a guy. So I
Yeah,
can't be that.
yeah.
I can always get so far. And I
You
know
know what?
it's
No, go ahead.
no, well, I was just gonna say, I mean, it's a pretty, beat down conversation of, feminist, and all the roles and everything. But I mean, it really is true. The feeling is there. And
Hmm.
I just wish it wasn't.
I can identify with that, and this is something that I haven't thought about in quite a while or talked about. But when I was a kid, everybody knows if you can't tell, I'm a black man. But when I was a little boy, myself and my younger brother, whenever we were envisioning, what we were going to be when we grew up, what we were going to look like,
Hmm.
I envisioned my only idea, my mental picture of myself as an adult is a white man wearing a suit. That's what I thought I was going to look like when I grew up
Oh my god.
because that's pretty much
That's all
all
you
I
had to look
saw
up to. Yeah.
on TV or anything. Whenever it's a respectable male figure is almost always a white guy wearing a suit. That's like the guy that gets the attention. That's the guy that it has the responsibility. That's the guy that that gets paid the big money. That's the guy that's successful. White guy in a suit. And I legitimately thought that my brother and I were both going to be white guys when we grew up, like vanilla, standard, cookie cutter looking. Like if you thought of the generic white protagonist, male.
Hmm.
That's what I thought I was going to be growing up. Brown hair, wearing a wearing a fedora or something like that. And right now I'm totally not that, but that
That
was
is
what
such a
I.
sad reflection on society. It really is.
Yeah,
That
it is,
that
and
happens.
it's been. I think it's. I don't think that young kids in America have that situation now.
Not so
Thankfully,
much.
I would have to say there's tons of of positive black male characters on TV now, especially yeah, maybe there might not be a lot of cool superheroes and stuff like that, maybe 3 or 4 of them, if that. And it's still a largely white male dominated arena, this entertainment, in general, TV and movies, etc. But
Did you hear what
I don't
Stephen
think there's
King
a
was
lot of people
doing?
thinking that. What? I think I have an
For the
idea
Dark
what he
Tower
was
series.
saying.
Yeah, the Dark Tower
Yeah,
series, Roland. Oh my
yeah.
God. Isn't that
Idris
just so
Elba is
weird?
rolling. That's gangster. That's what we call a G move. As
Oh, this is going to
it's
be
going to piss a lot
wonderful.
of people off, I bet. But you know,
Are you serious?
I'm
Honestly, what?
sure. I'm sure there's always people pissed off when you switch. Well, I mean, whether it's for negative reasons or just regular, like, hey, I don't like having the bait and switch or whatever. And it's there could be any number of reasons for it, and it's a case by case basis that I would have to hear from an individual person with what their opinion is and why, what before I judge whether they're a racist or whether they just are a purist that just gets annoyed when someone tries to change something up with a character that they thought
Yeah.
they knew. But
No,
there's
I think it's going to be a great move.
I think it's good. Me personally, I love that.
Mhm.
Idris Elba is my homeboy. I love him,
He is a
and
wonderful actor. Oh my
yeah,
God.
he's 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 a good. I really like him a lot. But anytime you take a character that people assume, I don't even think that Roland's race is ever described in the books. I don't recall. It might be, but even
I
if it is,
think it was because he was modeled after Clint Eastwood, I believe.
oh yeah, yeah. And then maybe even on the cover art, if it shows him, it's probably a Clint Eastwood looking guy. Now that
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, but still,
Yeah. If you look at the cover of
it's
Gunslinger.
cool to change that up sometimes. But
I'll tell you what pissed me off though. Matthew McConaughey. I don't like him.
Why not? I like him.
Because he's Matthew McConaughey in every damn movie.
Well, this is Matthew McConaughey is an intensely interesting person.
I guess. He's not my cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Everybody's got their thing, I guess. I like him. Kefkin, thanks very much for the compliment. I appreciate that. And yeah, Luke Cage is one of the people I was thinking. Wow, I missed a lot of these.
Yeah, there was a lot of
comments.
superhero talk.
Yep, the original Black Ranger, Shin Fitz points out. The original Black Ranger.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Breakdancing, 90s, 100% running through his veins.
No, he was so cute.
Yeah, he was not someone I aspired to be growing up, but that was it's whatever. I always knew that I would never be a breakdancer. So that sucks. That's kind of the one that got away from me, the ability to breakdance. That would have been awesome. Let's see here. Fast 8 has a female lead antagonist. I haven't seen those Fast and the Furious movies for quite a while. It's been a long time. I saw I've only seen the first 2. And I one of these days I'll get into it and do a marathon or something. Hank, greetings, my friend. I didn't see you there.
I'm sorry, James. Did you have something to say? Did I miss it? He's bored. I didn't mean to ignore everybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of here. Well, we just kind of went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Pootie Tang, really, DD? That is not the role model that I needed growing up either. Nightshade, greetings. Is that? I recognize that profile picture. I wonder if that's who I think it is. Idris Elba. Yeah. Idris Elba acting out a live-action Dr. Seuss book of any sort. That I don't think I could get behind that. Have you seen Luther?
No.
Detective series it's a detective series similar. It's kind of along the lines of Sherlock Holmes. It's on Netflix,
Is it?
and it's starring Idris Elba as a troubled detective in in England named Luther. It is a great show. I really recommend it.
Ooh, I'll have
If
to
you haven't
check that
seen it.
out.
Oh yeah, it's awesome for sure.
I
Let's
love
see.
detective shows. No,
Well,
James, don't be sorry. I just didn't. If I was ignoring you, I didn't mean to.
yeah. Sorry about that, guys. We got on a little tangent, and I did not realize that the chat was paused on my little window here. Normally, I'd be drawing or something, but today you guys are so active in the chat that I just kept, you know, kept going through and searching for things to comment on, this is pretty fun. I do enjoy that.
The Losers. That sounds familiar. Who's in that?
Don't know. Yeah, Miss M has seen Luther, another person who's
I'll
on
have to
Team
watch that.
Luther. Yeah, it's good, and the characters in it, especially the main female character slash love interest is freaking my favorite character in the show.
Really?
Yeah, she's the most wild card, intriguing character I've seen in recent TV history.
Hmm.
I still got I told you I watched the first episode of Penny Dreadful.
Did you get any further?
I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch
Oh
any more of
no.
it, but I will. It's definitely on my immediate future watching list.
Like I said, you're gonna enjoy it. It's just I wish it would have ended better. So
Yeah. DD says Samuel L. Jackson in Unbreakable, although he was the villain. Unbreakable is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
is it really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Nightshade. I knew that was you, Selena. Greetings. Yeah. Let's see. There was something else I was going to say before we left about movies or TVs or something like that. Pet peeves. Shinfitz asked, pet peeves related to movies. Black guy being the first to die unnecessarily in a movie. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's especially when, I mean, if there's a reason, if like the black guy deserves it, or if he should have seen it coming, and and I'm already mad at him, I don't mind it
No,
so
they
much.
just knock them off to do it.
Yeah,
There's no good reason.
there are a few select reasons that I would accept, but a lot of the times, if there's one black guy in the movie and they unceremoniously kill him off, that really annoys me. That happened in one movie, a major, huge movie that I really love, which I won't spoil it or anything, but happens to also have Matthew McConaughey in it. Don't say it if you think you know what it is. But there's one black guy in it, and he dies pretty tragically. And it's not, if I'm not mistaken, it's not even mentioned. Like they just go on,
Seriously?
yeah, with the movie. And this is a huge, big budget, AAA list movie with an
I'm gonna
all-star
have to go back
cast,
through his
except for the
list
black
and
guy.
see.
The black guy is the only one who's like not really well known, but he
Yeah.
dies, and everyone just moves on. Like, yeah, and he's a vital part of the movie for the whole large portion that he's in. And when he dies, it's just like, all right, he's dead. They don't even mention it. They just keep going on. It was pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, but and I noticed it while in the movie. I was like, wait a minute, they're not going to like acknowledge the fact that the black guy just died. It was really
What is
weird.
up with that's just lazy. That is lazy writing.
Yeah, I mean, it only would have taken like 2 seconds for them to say, "Oh no," he's dead. It's like this
Oh my
guy was
god.
like integral in your survival, and he basically died because you got, in order to save you guys. But just all right, screw it.
Oh my god.
False endings like The Ring, fade to black, snap, fade back in. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. Scarlet Witch mentioned. Women always tripping in horror movies right when the killer is coming. That is ridiculous.
It
And
really
but that
is.
that falls into one of those times where I'm like, all right, well, you know what? You should have been paying attention. You should have been, you know, not tripping over everything, especially not when the guy's right behind you. So, bye. you know, that's
Let's
what
see.
sometimes that's what happens.
Can you think of any movie that actually like kept either the black character or the dumb blonde or a blonde in general or a lady till the end? I mean,
Well, unless it's like the cutest girl of all the girls in the movie,
oh my god.
she usually survives. And I can't think of one where I'm sure there have been some where, like ironically, the black guy is the last one alive
House on
somehow.
Haunted Hill, the remake. The black guy
The
and the girl,
remake.
didn't they survive?
Was she like not the prettiest girl?
It's Allie Lauder. She's kind of hot.
Yeah, so she probably was among the cutest girls there.
But I'm pretty sure the
So
black guy was there on the ledge with her.
yeah,
I
I
can't
guess
remember
that.
his
I mean,
name. Oh my
I'll give
god.
him half credit for that. Halloween H2O. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I saw that forever ago.
Kefkin asks, "How am I doing?" I'm doing
That's
well.
right, Deep Blue Sea. Oh.
Oh yeah, LL. Well, he is light skinned, but that works. I'll accept it.
They paid a lot for him, I bet. That's why he stayed.
Yeah, I bet he probably
Anaconda.
insisted on surviving
I
Anaconda.
would.
You
Oh my
guys are
god,
taking
I
it way
would.
back. Oh yeah. Hmm.
Evil Dead.
James Taylor dislikes horror movies. I'm not a connoisseur or anything, but I've seen a couple. I just saw Get Out finally like a couple weeks ago, and it was
Was that good?
awesome. Yeah, it was one of the few movies that I actually exclaimed and said, "Oh snap!" Like there's
Really?
a there's a twist, kind of not a twist, but like something happens at the very end, toward the end of the movie, and I loudly yelled out I was watching it at home on Voodoo,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh snap!" That does not happen often at all.
I'll have to watch that. I think it's on my queue. I'll have to move it up or something.
Oh yeah, it's definitely interesting. Let's see, and especially the fact that it's Jordan Peele's first movie that he wrote and directed, I believe. That's pretty cool. I'm happy for him. Jen, good night, my friend. I'm always happy to be of service. Kefkin, yes, I have heard of a Cody box, but I don't get into that. Okay, my most favorite movie. I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. Because just so you guys know how much I care, my company is actually, they're still here in my house, but they're being very quiet.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry.
no, 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 there's nothing for you to apologize for. I definitely wanted to make good on my promise to do this live stream today. And, they're the ones who decided to spring a visit on me. So that's why they're in my living room right now. My most favorite movie is tied between The Matrix and Fight Club.
Oh,
If you
those are
haven't heard
both
that
good.
before. The Matrix, Fight Club, Memento, Unbreakable, and the original Ghost in the Shell animated movie. That pretty much is my top 5 movies of all time.
Oh,
For
wow.
those who are curious, and that list pretty much doesn't. Well, you know what? There's only one thing that's a little bit that might be a little different. Add in Layer Cake. If you guys have never seen that, I don't know how you might be able to. I'm sure you can find it somewhere if you have a Roku or something. But it's Daniel Craig and Tom Hardy are in it, and it's right up there with Memento for one of my favorite movies.
I've never heard of
So
it.
it's obscure, but it's called Layer Cake, starring Daniel Craig, and it is freaking awesome. I love it. I don't know why. It's this very unique movie. It's the way it's shot and the way it plays out. It's a British film, but it's so awesome. I love it. I've watched it probably more than the only other movie I've watched more than that is probably The Matrix and maybe Fight Club. I've
Oh,
watched this
wow.
movie Layer Cake probably 20 times. Yeah, it's every time I watch it, it's just as amazing to me, which is rare.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's highly recommended. Hmm. Selena, you said you found an old journal of yours and it has something really creepy. Friend will let me. Yeah, just send me an email, Selena, and we'll talk about that. Oh, by the way, okay, Miss M has seen Layer Cake. Very interesting. And James Taylor, I love Miyazaki films. I think we've spoken about that before, haven't we, Nix?
Yeah. Yeah,
Hayao
because I'm a
Miyazaki's
fan.
film, Studio Ghibli. Yeah, those are there's pretty much impossible for them to do anything wrong with those. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I promise I am going to get around to doing these the meditation video. I know I've been saying that. You know what? Don't even worry about it for now because I'm just going to do it, and then you'll see it when you see it. It should be coming pretty soon, though. It's a kind of a large undertaking for me, though. Well, that's why it's taking so long, and I honestly haven't had a chance to record anything that's very long or any large projects recently. But I'll be getting to that pretty soon. And I also have a lot of really really cool, unique, never before heard stories for you guys coming up, including things that I can't even really classify. I have no idea what they are. So all I can do is give you my best explanation and my best you know informational delving into what I've gotten writing the stories based on the interviews that I've been conducting. So it's pretty crazy. There's these kind of weird death dealer type creatures that someone wrote me about. And this is not a any random person. This is kind of a Wall Street banker type of guy that had this encounter in New York in Manhattan. So it's very it's not something that I take lightly. That when a guy like that tells me, not that I love Wall Street, I don't, but someone of that level of maturity and adultness, it seems would be a little bit less likely to just come up with stuff like that out of their nether regions.
What?
So that's why I take it seriously. I
Oh
don't,
my
I,
God.
I don't like, I don't like saying pulling things out of their ass. That's what I was
Mm-hmm.
avoiding saying. But I'm saying somebody from Wall Street contacting me of all people to tell me that
Wow.
they saw something that they can't explain that's really crazy.
Mm,
You know, that's not something that I would expect. You know, so it's also one of the best written interviews, emails that I've ever gotten. So he had
that's
plenty of
cool.
detail in there. It's going to make for a really great story. It's going to be a long one too. So you guys can look forward to that. So good night to everyone who's already on their way out. Anybody who I haven't seen, Raptor Windmill,
I think Tammy's out.
Sindhu, greetings. And I hope you guys all have an excellent weekend. Love you all, and take care. As
Bye,
always, my
guys.
friends, that's Nyx, and I am Mr. X. May your nights be full of dreams, my friends. Until next time.